Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing the impossible. We're going to be figuring out if Greg Heffley is really stuck in middle school forever, or if he's just a little mixed up when it comes to the entries in his journal and when they happen. Because personally, I think that everything can be pieced together into one simple timeline. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. As this beautifully written sign says here, subscribe. You should do that. It's free, helps me out a ton, and we're pretty close to 200 subs. We're like halfway there or something. So yeah, anyway, so middle school has 3 years: 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and then summer in between each one. Now nothing really happens in the summer of the first one that we know of, but I'll go more into that later. And then high school is at the end here. But theoretically, he would be in high school when old school starts, but that is not the case. So yeah, let's get started. Now first of all, we have some givens. The first book takes place in one whole year. Nothing can really go along with that. Next, we have Roderick Rules, which takes place the year after. Summer, we have Dog Days, which happens, and also, I forgot to add, The Last Straw. It does happen after Roderick Rules, but it does happen in year 2. So everything's all good and dandy there. Year 3, The Ugly Truth. Then Cabin Fever during the winter. We're gonna have to make this a bit smaller here. So yeah, then Cabin Fever during the winter. Third Wheel during like fallish. Hard Luck. And then in the summer, supposedly, we would have The Long Haul. However, then that leads us to high school. So the Long Haul is pretty important because it adds a bit of an important piece to the plot, that being the pig, because the pig is seen in the other books. It's not that important, but like, we know that the other books happened after the Long Haul. So that means that all the books after, like Old School and up to Big Shot, they cannot be before the Long Haul. So Long Haul is actually going to go in the summer of year 1. Now it makes sense. Now next, I'd have to say put Old School in year 2. Now this is because it's kind of in a vague, like it doesn't take place, like it takes place somewhere in like September, and Greg had like a lot of stuff going on in like Roderick Rules, so maybe he just like put it in a different journal, and that makes sense because that might be that's like a bit of a common theme we'll see as we go through all of these books. Next up, we have Double Down. That also happens around this time. It would make sense. And then we have The Getaway. The Getaway would happen during winter, so and we don't really see, like, what we see happens is this takes place, the Last Straw takes place right after Christmas, but Roderick Rules does not go up to Christmas. So this actually fills in the gap perfectly, and we're going to be organizing all of these like first to last chronologically up here. And we're omitting all the Raleigh Jefferson diaries because those are not even really in chronological order. Those doesn't really do anything, and that's kind of like obvious. But yeah, anyway, so that's actually fits together super well. And yeah, Roderick Rules kind of just happens, I guess, before Old School, you could say, or like, yeah, it's in that vicinity, kind of. Like, it happens at the same time as Old School. Now, another book that happens at the same time as The Last Straw would have to be The Meltdown, which I actually don't have here. I don't know where I put it, but it was somewhere here. But we could go ahead and pull up the file from my computer. I believe that's book 13, so let's go ahead and add that on in. And yeah, so this takes place during the events of The Last Straw, kind of, in my opinion, because it doesn't, like, it happens right after The Getaway. It mentions that, and also it just like it's the events of that book were maybe like so like, okay, think about it from Greg's perspective. This guy has a huge ego, thinks he's gonna be a millionaire. He makes a lot of journals, and like, he wouldn't put a lot of good stuff in one journal. He split it out over a lot of them, and like, yeah, that just makes sense. So I'd say The Meltdown happens after The Getaway, during the events of The Last Straw, loosely. So yeah, and then we have Dog Days, which happens during the summer. But I think in between them, in between this and The Meltdown, we have Wrecking Ball. However, Wrecking Ball, in my opinion, it just feels like more of a conclusion book. So I'm actually going to save that later because I think it could go into year 3. So we'll just put it in year 3 for now. Now, that leaves us to The Deep End. Now, The Deep End is like, it could happen in summer because I don't think The Big Shot happened directly after. It doesn't really reference that, but The Deep End happens right after Wrecking Ball, and obviously, like, we don't really see the effects of like the Big Shot doesn't really reference the effect, like the events of these books, so it makes sense that it's before somewhere in year 2 or year 3. It doesn't really matter. I think personally I'm just going to put it in year 3 since it's a bit more crowded, and it is a later book, so that would kind of make sense if it were to be released like in that order. But yeah, so this is how we have it so far. So Wrecking Ball can theoretically go behind the Meltdown, but I do think that if so, I'd also have to move the deep end, but it doesn't really matter. It could really go either way. It could either go like this or like this. It doesn't really matter, essentially. But so that answers the question, is he in high school forever? I don't think so. I just think that if you really... okay, he is in high school. I mean, not high school. He is in middle school forever, but... you know, it's just fun to think about it this way. So essentially, the entire timeline looks something like this. First off, Diary of Wimpy Kid, his first year of school. Then he goes on a road trip during the summer with his family. Then he learns to just, like, suck it up and be and, like, deal with his brother. Then he does sport... wait, no, that's not what happens. Then, he goes on a field trip with his school to Hazardable Farms. It sucks. And then, after that, he joins school band to try and become popular. It doesn't work, but he gets to go to the party, and it's decent, I guess. I don't really remember. And then he goes on a getaway with his family, which happens during Christmas time, and then, I don't know, oh wait, I already have that. And then, the last straw happens. I don't really remember what happens in this one, but, yeah, he learns to suck it up and deal with his dad, I guess. And then the last straw leads us up to summer, so it makes sense that the Meltdown happens after Getaway, even though they're both kind of loosely in the same time. But last straw takes like a lot of events up to summer, but it's not like it's more of quantity over quantity for that book. And then we have Dog Days, the actual summer, and then his final year, he has The Ugly Truth, and then he has a little sports competition. Not really clear when that is, but probably somewhere like in the early stages. It is basketball, which is an indoor sport, so like November season, so that makes sense because it happens right before Cabin Fever, which is winter time, and then the way, and then he has to be a third wheel. He has some hard luck, and his house gets destroyed by a wrecking ball, and then he goes on a vacation to the deep end. So that is how the books go. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments of this. But it all makes sense. Like, it's pieced together too well. Jeff Kinney, if you're watching this video, make sure to subscribe, man. Yeah, I love you, Jeff Kinney. You might make me money if I ever get monetized on this channel, so thank you for that. And, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed making this video, so give me more ideas. Like, if you want me to discuss, like, Wimpy Kid theories, or like stuff, just give me any Wimpy Kid ideas, please, anything. I'll do them all. Like unless they're like hard against YouTube, like YouTube TOS, then I won't do them. But I'm literally open to anything. This is like a very cool idea for me to do. I came up with it all by myself, but it still would be cool to do some of your ideas. So yeah, let me know what you think of this, if you'd rearrange any of them. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'm out of here. Bye.